Options when it comes to shopping, dining, and other amenities. Here's a look at some of the new or updated concessions available in the airport.
McCarran International Airport serves a diverse mix of foreign and domestic passengers. That's why offering a variety of shopping and dining options is so important.
Well, not only does our customer change and the customer dynamics change, but the customer expectations change based on what they see on the street and what the restaurant options are available in Las Vegas, and they want to see those options at the airport.
McCarran has something for everyone, from the passengers on the go to those with time to relax between flights. The Seagates are home to McCarran's busiest carrier, Southwest Airlines, and a renovated food court area with new restaurants offering chef-inspired menus with a fresh and healthy flair.
We also have Brookwood Farms barbecue, which is fresh and healthy options, fresh meats and things brought in daily. Also, we've added Las Vegas MKT, which is a chef-driven menu. It's got a lot of healthy options on the menu.
In addition, the Seagates now offers a remodeled retail option with an innovative concept.
We've got a brand new Hudson News. It's the first of its kind concept in the country. It's a brand new store concept. And also over at D, we've got a brand new Jamba Juice, which is another healthy option for our customers.
Passengers who are new to the airport can easily find shop and restaurant locations by using interactive displays at various locations throughout the airport. Or on a mobile device, use McCarran's free Wi-Fi and find out more information online at mccarran.com. There you can find interactive maps, store descriptions, operating hours, and menus.
For those who don't want to self-park, valet parking is available at Terminal 1 and Terminal 3. This option is perfect for our passengers who are in a hurry or just enjoy the convenience of simply dropping off their vehicle. Here's a look at this time-saving parking option and the helpful attendants who are at your service.
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
McCarran International Airport has more than 17,000 public parking spaces, offering a variety of choices to meet our customers' short-term and long-term parking needs. But drivers also have another parking option, valet.
Good, and yourself? Yeah, please. Yeah, that works great. Let me give you this.
It's definitely more convenient. So if you are in a rush, it helps to be able to come in and not have to worry about where your car is parked. It's $23 a day, or if you're not going to be gone for the day, it's $6 for the first hour, and then $1 every hour after that.
It doesn't get much easier than driving up, hopping out, grabbing your bags, and dropping off your key with the valet attendant. It's a service that is commonplace in the entertainment capital of the world and also here at the nation's 8th busiest airport.
I love the people. And we get most of the people that come in here are regulars. So I see them, weekly, bi-weekly, at very least a couple times a month. So you feel like you get to know them after a period of time. So it's like family.
Both terminals at McCarran have valet service, and as an added benefit for an extra fee, passengers' vehicles can be washed. And that's why McCarran's valets are at your service.
Even when temperatures outside hit triple digits, you can count on McCarran to be comfortable inside, thanks to a sophisticated and efficient air conditioning system.
It takes a lot of specialized equipment and skilled staff to cool the nearly 4.7 million square feet of indoor space that make up McCarran International Airport.
The process starts here at one of two central plants. This one, Central Utility Plant 3, or CP3 for short, serves Terminal 3 and the D-gates.
CP1, the original facility at McCarran, supplies chilled water for all of Terminal 1, including the A, B, and C gates. Computers with energy management software monitor hundreds of sensors throughout the airport to control the target temperatures, called set points, which can be adjusted here at this station if needed.
This is kind of a snapshot of what's going on at the airport right now. I can come in here and quickly look at some. For example, right now, we're about 102 degrees out here in Las Vegas, and I've got two chillers running. I got about 6,800 GPMs of water flowing throughout Terminal 3 and D gates right now.
Centrifugal chillers, each with an evaporator barrel, a condenser barrel, and a compressor, are at the core of the cooling process. Water from nearby cooling towers is pumped into the condenser barrel and circulated through a system of smaller pipes. Reducing the temperature of the water before it enters the condenser helps the equipment operate more efficiently. Meanwhile, the adjacent evaporator barrel chills the water to about 43 degrees. Powerful pumps distribute the water through more than 25 miles of pipe into nearly 600 air handling units and 450 fan coil units located throughout Terminal 1, Terminal 3, and the D gates. Fans blowing over the chill water coils create cool air that keeps the buildings at a comfortable 76 degrees during the summer. By adjusting the building maximum and minimum temperature by only a few degrees, McCarran was able to save energy.
By just raising the set points and or lowering the set points throughout the terminal a couple of degrees, the passengers haven't even noticed it, and we've saved millions of dollars in electrical costs and gas consumption on our boilers.
A maze of return pipes then transports the now warmer water back to the chillers where the process is repeated. Nearly 1 million gallons of water are pumped throughout the closed-loop system. CP3 houses 6 chillers, each capable of processing 5,000 gallons per minute. 5 chillers at CP1 can process up to 4,000 gallons per minute. More than 30 employees work around the clock, 365 days a year, to operate and maintain the equipment at both plants. Although we can't control Mother Nature, when the mercury goes up outside, we can keep the temperatures down inside,
making it cool and comfortable for the employees that work at McCarran and the thousands of customers they serve each day.
McCarran recently launched a new FlyFit program to help improve the health and wellness of those traveling through our airport. Let's take a look.
FlyFit encourages walking as a way to fitness by sharing with travelers convenient walking paths located throughout the airport. Routes range from approximately 1/2 to 1.5 miles long, with options located before and after the security checkpoints. FlyFit is the first airport fitness program created in partnership with the American College of Sports Medicine and was developed in response to Step It Up, the Surgeon General's call to action to make walking a national priority.
So I researched 11 other airports, found out what worked for them, what they liked, what they didn't like. I assembled a report and submitted it to our senior management. They then in turn worked with the American College of Sports Medicine, who reviewed it. They made some recommendations, and in concert with them, we developed the McCarran FlyFit program throughout the terminals.
Pamphlets and online maps identify the location, starting point, and distance for each of the 4 designated walking paths in Terminal 1 and Terminal 3.
I think anytime you have an opportunity to, quote, stay fit, I think it's a great opportunity to get out and about and also, consume some time and, you can look out the window, and it's a great way to have some time to yourself between flights.
McCarran's FlyFit program also falls in line with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's recently introduced Airport Walking Guide that was developed as part of its Walk to Fly project to encourage airport travelers to make active choices. Walking is a simple, effective, and affordable way to increase physical activity. So next time you're at McCarran, use our free Wi-Fi and visit McCarran.com. Click Relax and FlyFit to get started.
To reach out to our growing number of Hispanic customers, each episode of Flight Path features a segment in Spanish with English subtitles. Here's Gabriela Muro to tell us more about the airport's Lost and Found.
Cada año millones de pasajeros pasan por el aeropuerto. En ocasiones puede que se deje detrás algún objeto. Cuando esto sucede aquí en el aeropuerto McCarran, la ayuda está a un clic de distancia. Objetos dejados en las zonas comunes de McCarran, incluyendo las puertas de embarque y áreas de revisión de seguridad, pueden entregarse a la oficina de objetos perdidos. McCarran cuenta con 2 oficinas de objetos perdidos. En el Terminal 1, la oficina de objetos perdidos se encuentra en el nivel 2 sobre los mostradores de boletos y área de chequeo. En el Terminal 3, la oficina de objetos perdidos se encuentra en el nivel 2 al este del edificio, junto al mostrador internacional de entrada y chequeo. Si gustaría saber si contamos con algún objeto suyo que ha perdido, simplemente vaya al sitio mccarran.com y haga clic en Online Lost and Found. Aquí usted puede presentar un informe de objeto perdido o confirmar el estado de un informe existente. Al presentar su informe, incluya toda la información acerca del objeto. Vamos a mantener su información en nuestra base de datos por 30 días y le notificaremos si es que encontramos su objeto perdido.
The user-friendly websites make it easy for customers to get the information they need, from FBO services and ground transportation options to the news and driving directions. Each general aviation airport in the Clark County aviation system caters to a specific customer base, and the new websites help patrons determine which facility will best suit their needs. North Las Vegas Airport is an ideal base of operation for the general aviation traveler who needs convenient access to downtown and the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Henderson Executive Airport also serves as a reliever airport for McCarran and caters to business aviation with its convenient access to the world-famous Las Vegas Strip and the Convention Center via nearby I-15 and Las Vegas Boulevard.
We're very excited about our new websites because it informs our passengers of the great amenities and the central locations of our two GA airports, the North Las Vegas Airport and the Henderson Executive Airport.
To see what terminal amenities are available and view an FAA airport diagram, click FBO Tour on the new websites. Select Airport Business for a comprehensive directory of the support services operating at each airport. Both websites were designed to meet the needs of online visitors by displaying important information in a user-friendly, attractive, and intuitive way.
We're really catering it to be relevant to what the users want on which page. For example, we have pilot information that's specific to pilots that includes their data from aviation weather.
The general aviation websites are dynamic and designed to be mobile-friendly. The content will automatically adjust to the user's screen size, so the content looks great on any device, from laptops and smartphones to tablets. The new online form makes requesting needed aircraft services quick and easy.
The online form is great for our customer because it gives them a chance to be able to price out the trip before they actually show up at the airport. You can put in your dates of travel, the anticipated amount of fuel, and it'll calculate the fees and charges, and it'll also make suggestions to you to see how you can save money through the bulk fuel program.
Today's busy customer expects to easily access information online and conduct business on the go. These new mobile-friendly websites meet that demand while helping to distinguish each airport and reinforce its unique brand. Learn more about these airports by visiting hnd.aero and vgt.aero.
To enrich the travel experience for our customers, McCarran boasts a variety of sculptures, photographs, paintings, and artwork creatively displayed throughout the terminals and on the grounds. Let's take a closer look at one of the murals painted by local artist Harold Bradford.
Here at the D-Gates, Harold Bradford's mural, Triptych Passages, invites the outdoor beauty of Southern Nevada indoors to McCarran International Airport. Hailing from greener vistas of the Northwest United States, Bradford instantly fell in love with the unique beauty of the desert Southwest when he moved to Las Vegas.
Well, my main inspiration was I wanted people to feel the same impact that I had when I first came to the desert. I've also felt that it was really important that people see the other things, because a lot of people, when they think desert, they think it's hot, but there's also a certain beauty about it.
Bradford's affection for the landscapes that are unique to the Las Vegas Valley is carefully captured with intense color and detail in his masterpiece on display in the northeast wing of the D-Gates.
One of my favorites has this rock formation, and there's these turquoise blues, and I have some oranges, I believe, and mild colors, some purples, and also I kind of like what was happening with the horses. And I was really proud of that because it was a lot drawn from within myself.
The oil painting showcases a trio of distinct locales in southern Nevada: Red Rock Canyon, Valley of Fire, and Mount Charleston. The three-paneled canvas measures 8 feet tall by 153 feet wide and is full of symbolism derived from the work's name.
Because everything was divided into threes, triptych means three, so it's all the 3 areas around Las Vegas. Also, there's 3 horses, there's 3 bighorn sheep.
It took the artist more than a year to complete the project while working full-time as a graphic designer for a local sign company. But in the end, the painstaking process was worth all the effort, and Bradford is proud to have his largest work to date on display at the airport.
To me, it's the artist's dream. I mean, there's millions of people that go to the airport every year. For me, it brings attention to what is happening here in Las Vegas.
Today, Bradford keeps busy painting in his studio and teaching classes at the Left of Center Art Gallery located near his home.
The TSA prohibits travelers from bringing beverages, shampoo, gels, or creams weighing more than 3.4 ounces through the security checkpoints. When passengers forget, these unopened items don't get thrown away. Here's a look at the unique program that helps keep the airport growing green.
When travelers inadvertently bring prohibited liquids or gels in their carry-on bags, instead of tossing them in the garbage, they are collected here in specially marked donation bins located at the entrance of each security checkpoint. Unopened items are then donated to military men and women as part of a joint effort between the USO and the airport to reduce waste while helping to meet the needs of those who are serving our country in the armed forces.
It's extremely valuable for us to have those donation bins at the airport. We collect hundreds of bottles of water every day that we can give out to our service members and their families that are traveling through McCarran International Airport.
At least twice a day, USO volunteers empty the donation bins. Hundreds of bottles are collected each day that would have otherwise ended up in a landfill.
There's incredible amounts of stuff that would be just going to landfill. This way, it's used for a good purpose, and I couldn't think of anything better to do with it.
Volunteers bring the donations to the USO Center at McCarran, where they are carefully sorted. Unopened bottles are then thoroughly checked, cleaned, and sanitized.
We have a sanitation process that we go through. First up, we'll put them in a bucket with some dish soap. We'll let them sit in that for a little while. We'll rinse every single bottle out of that and then put them in another bucket with a sanitation liquid. Anything that might look like it's open, we will throw it away.
Volunteers are sometimes surprised by the number of unused items that passengers forget they can't take through security checkpoints, but they're thankful.
At least we have the USO boxes there that we can recycle this, and it's great for the amount of water and pop.
Military members and their families appreciate the services provided by the USO and welcome the recycled resources like water, especially when flying.
It makes me feel a lot better, and it's nice coming off the plane where the plane's super dry and being able to come in and grab like a glass or a bottle of water or something to drink because you're dehydrated.
The checkpoint donation program is very successful. Passengers who aren't allowed to bring their favorite beverages through the security checkpoint can take comfort in knowing the items will be donated to a very good cause. And that's a win-win for the environment, our customers, and our servicemen and women, and it's just one more way the airport is growing green.
Las Vegas is home to the biggest celebration for electronic dance music lovers, the Electric Daisy Carnival. To welcome revelers arriving by air, local youth from the Enterprise Library's DJ Learning Lab performed as part of McCarran's Voices of Vegas program. Let's take a listen.
The Enterprise Library has a state-of-the-art DJ Learning Lab where youth ages 13 to 17 may practice and master many DJ skills. The unique program gives local young adults hands-on experience with the equipment, software, lighting, and sound that are unique to this performance art.
Music got me interested, and I've been fascinated by how music could have a message in it, so it makes me feel proud.
Youth that master the DJ hardware and software are then able to perform at public venues or community events.
When I first saw it, I was like, oh hey, maybe this is new, maybe I should try something for new since I'm in Las Vegas. So I first went in there, it was amazing, there's a lot of music, I felt like I was in control.
The aspiring DJs were a great addition to the airport's Voices of Vegas program, which helps welcome customers to the airport through music.
It's awesome because everybody's already hyped up, ready to go to EDC, to the nightclubs, day clubs, and everything. And this is a great warm welcome for everybody.
People from all over the world gets to see him, and he's doing what he loves.
In addition to honing their musicianship, the program helps the youth strengthen their abilities in other important areas, including cognitive skills, critical thinking, public speaking, and etiquette.
The library district does teach youth how to DJ, but we are also interested in other skills. For example, they become real good at public speaking. If they need to articulate something, now they could do it professionally.
The performance was a hit with passengers and passers-by, especially those attending EDC.
It's thrilling, it's like a breath of fresh air, honestly. When you come out here, see the crowd, see the energy.
As part of ongoing efforts to enrich the customer experience at the airport, McCarran will continue to showcase local talent during future Voices of Vegas performances.
Now you're ready to pack your bags and fly the skies, so have a great trip. Remember to check us out on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, and use all the resources of our website, McCarran.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on Flight Path.
Don't let your pets go tomcatting around. Did you know that an unspayed cat, her mate, and all their kitties can produce 470,000 cats in 7 years? Prevent a litter. Fix your critter.
Clark County TV, TV for Clark County.
This is where fun happens. Gail Gilbert brings her ethereal art to the Winchester Gallery. Some savvy seniors competed for gold at the Cora Coleman Olympics. And we'll tell you about a number of day and nighttime events at the Clark County Shooting Complex, Nevada's only 5-star shooting range. Those stories and more coming up next on Where Fun Happens. Clark County is enriched by parks, facilities, programs, and services. And Clark County's Parks and Recreation Department proudly offers all of these to you. But most of all, we are...
My name is Gail Gilbert, and I am the artist presenting work at the Winchester Cultural Center. The name of my exhibition is Tethered. The title of the show is Tethered, and that has to do with the connection between the weight and the flight. So it's that action of being tethered, which has that, strength in what's holding it and strength in what's being expressed, up and out, breathless. I didn't know if the glue was going to hold this wool as well as it held the linen, because the linen is such a looser weave. I like it. It's cool. At first I started out trying to make everything look like it was blown by the wind, look like it was the wind. And that was based on a dance that I made a couple years ago, where I was the dancer being blown by the wind. And I wanted to make a sculpture of that. And that's that blue piece in there. That's where that came from. And now I've sort of, as I did more of them, I thought, okay, I could make all blue pieces of wind, but I sort of started to branch out and think about, well, what is it that was so beautiful about that? And it's the flight. So it's about finding pieces with other materials that have that sense of flight. I want people to get a visceral reaction when they see it that has to do with their breath. The same way I am a performer, I want that in there. So it comes out in the sculptures too. I want something to, this material that I work with to have a life. This piece that I just have set here, for the anchor, I'm using this piece of wood, which I think is great because it already has this slit in it. It's already got this crack. And I decided most of the pieces that I've been gluing, they kind of go around in these circles. So I wanted to try gluing the fabric in a horizontal place and trying to get a ripple effect. It's a more recent piece, and I was just trying to bend this steel piece and trying to get a softness to come out of that really hard, rigid thing that we usually associate with just, a building or something. And this I saw that it was getting kind of soft, and the stones just have sort of like a gentle sort of connection to each other, sort of like a kiss. I had these strips of steel that I had worked on for a theater prop piece, and they were sitting around, and I was thinking about the fabric and how it's woven, and my idea was to weave these and then shape that, which I've done with other pieces of wire that's in work that's going to be in the show. And this, I just started grabbing it and bending it, and I was getting that sense of flight already, and I want to show you what happens. It's very fragile. This is tiger iron, and these are all just pieces of steel. And it's so fragile that even if you change like one little element, it will just completely fall over. So it does look fragile, and it really is. Like, the balance point on this is so delicate. Now it's going to take a while to get it back. the name of this sculpture is Aeoliana, which is a made-up word, being representing like an Aeolian harp, something that is being played by the wind. And this is fabric that's essentially played by the wind. And it's based on a dance that I made for myself a couple of years ago, where I was a dancer being blown by the wind. And I wanted to, without being trite or too representational, I wanted to just create a piece that looked as though it was the wind. And because of the color, I think it also just looks like a piece of the sky. The show is called Tethered because each of the pieces represents a sense of flight and a sense of weightedness, and that show and each of the works is about that opposition and that static position full of life that's in the middle of that which is heavy and that which is light.
Hi, my name is Russell Thompson, Recreation Cultural Specialist for Clark County Parks and Recreation. Our department provides a wide range of different activities and special events, and today we are here at the Cora Coleman Senior Center, which is located near Lake Mead and Nellis, and we're having our first annual Senior Olympic Games.
Oh, that's nice.
Now, what's great about these games is it's obviously very set similarly to the Olympics that happen every 4 years. We have games ranging from table tennis and billiards, to softball and football tosses, to power walking, horseshoes, shuffleboard, pinochle, badminton, and even an egg and spoon relay race. So what's great about this is a few different things. Number one, it provides a sense of teamwork and bringing a sense of community together. Number two, it provides our seniors to try some different things that maybe they wouldn't have tried out on any other given day during the year. So and number three, also it gives them a chance to step outside their comfort zone. And obviously we do offer several other different health and fitness programs and events year-round. Obviously, before you check any of our programs out, we obviously consult with your physician first. The Cora Coleman Senior Center and Aquatics Facility is located near Lake Mead and Nellis. The recreation side of the facility, their telephone number is 702-455-7617. And the Aquatics Facility, their telephone number is 702-455-2120. For all other inquiries and to see what else we have going on across the valley with all of our Clark County Parks and Recreation facilities, give us a call on our main hotline number at 702-455-8200, and check us out on our website at www.clarkcountynv.gov/parks. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you at one of our different facilities really soon.
It's the best cultural center in all of Clark County. Welcome to Winchester.
Hello, my name is Patrick, and I'm here to tell you about some of the events we have coming up at Winchester Cultural Center. An opera by the wonderful Sin City Opera Company is already in progress, and it continues on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, November 18th, 19th, and 20th. It's Postcard from Morocco. Tickets are $15. On Thursday, December 1 through Sunday, December 4th, our resident theater company, which is made up of young theater students who do really an unbelievable job. They're doing Babes in Toyland. That's 6 p.m. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. On Friday, December 9th, the Winchester Starcatchers are presenting their winter dance recital, and it'll feature hip-hop, ballet, jazz, and contemporary dance. You won't be disappointed. Friday, December 9th, 6 p.m. Tickets are $7. On December 10th at 2 p.m., we're presenting a wonderful jazz trio, pretty progressive group called Lockout Station. They mix all kinds of influences from flamenco to jazz fusion, avant-garde, you name it. But they're an awful lot of fun. The music is really exciting, and if you like music at all, you'll be glad you came. Tickets are $10 in advance, or on the day of the concert, $12. On Friday, December 16th at 7 p.m., we're very lucky to have the Zirna Trio, which is 3 of our finest musicians, and they are going to perform works by 2 forgotten classical composers, forgotten mainly because they were women. It's the Zirna Trio, 7 p.m. Friday, December 16th. Tickets are $10 in advance or $12 on the day of the concert. And the very next day, Saturday, December 17th, Alan Lawson has put together a wonderful group of musicians to play his arrangements of Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker. His work tends to be jazz influenced, so you're going to hear the Nutcracker in a different sort of way. Saturday, December 17th at 2 p.m. Tickets are $10 in advance, or on the day of the concert, $12.
Hi, this is Justin Favela with Clark County Parks and Rec Galleries. Coming up at the Winchester Cultural Center, we have artist Gail Gilbert and her exhibition, Tethered. Tethered is a show where wind is portrayed in sculptural form in Gail Gilbert's show. The fabric sculptures appear to be in the midst of a gust of air, evoking emotion and capturing the ethereality of wind. Coming up at the Clark County Government Center, we have artist Crystal Ramirez. She's going to have a big installation. That show is set to open January 9th. More information on both of those shows soon.
Did you know there are over 1,000 miles of trails here in Southern Nevada? Without knowing where to find them or what to expect, it can be hard to enjoy one of the best reasons to live in Southern Nevada. The Neon to Nature program, found at neontonature.org, is an online map tool that helps you locate walking and hiking trails throughout the valley. You can search the map for detailed information about each trail, including location and link, surface type, level of difficulty, and trail photos. So get out, find a trail, and explore new places at neontonature.org.
If you're wild about the Clark County Wetlands Park, you'll love the Wetlands Park Nature Center. Its exhibit gallery gives you a whole new perspective on this desert oasis located right in Clark County's backyard. The interactive displays, educational videos and activities, and hands-on exhibits are for kids of all ages. There's something for everyone at the Wetlands Park, indoors and outdoors, and it's all free. Visit today.
Hi, I'm Steve Carmichael, Program Administrator for the Clark County Shooting Complex. The holidays are fast upon us, and I want to let everybody know that we have updated our gift certificate. It has all the different shooting venues represented on the certificate. You can purchase this at the Rifle Pistol Center, the Shotgun Center, or at our main office. It makes a great gift for all your shooting friends. And we'll be bringing back our Learn to Shoot program in January. Every Friday from January on, we have 9mm auto handgun, we have archery, and we have trap shooting available. These are 1-hour classes. You can make reservations. It includes everything: ammunition, firearms, instructors, very reasonably priced. So it's a great way to pair your gift certificates with these shooting programs for your friends. Also want to mention that the archery basics class has moved to Wednesday night through the winter months. So it'll continue on Wednesday night through February. Hope to see everybody out here real soon at the Clark County Shooting Complex, Nevada's only outdoor 5-star rated recreational shooting facility.
Hi everybody, I'm Martin Olson with the Nevada Department of Wildlife here at the Clark County Shooting Complex. And hey, waterfowl season is in full swing and it runs to January 29th. Some of the locals around the area here love going to the Overton Wildlife Management area. If you'd like a reservation for that area, you need to come to our office on Vegas Drive in Decatur or in Henderson or the management area itself. Once you get your reservation card, then you're guaranteed a blind for that day on that hunt. So if you're planning on doing something like that and you haven't got your hunter education under your belt, you can take a class right here at the Clark County Shooting Complex. You can pick up the book here at the main office and then go online at our webpage, ndow.org, and sign up for a hunter education class. And remember, you have to come to our office to get that reservation for the Overton Wildlife Management Area. And the duck season runs all the way into January 29th. I hope to see you out here. Until next time, have a good hunting trip.
Hi, I'm Aurora Buffington, exercise physiologist and registered dietitian nutritionist here in the kitchen. Inevitably, people tend to eat a lot of sweet treats during the holidays, and consequently, they pay for their overindulgences with compensatory exercise, dieting, and New Year's resolutions. If you tend to eat healthfully most of the time, then an occasional indulgence will be okay. An easy rule to keep in mind is the 90-10 rule. So you'll want to eat healthfully 90% of the time, and then 10% of the time you can indulge in a sweet treat. Allowing an occasional splurge helps your diet become more enjoyable and sustainable. Use moderation with treats. When bringing home a dessert, bring just enough so that every person in the family has one piece. Also use smaller portion containers. Although moderation is always a good idea, small changes in your own kitchen may be used to improve the nutritional quality of your homemade treats. Try replacing half of the solid fat in a recipe with a healthier alternative, like canola oil or olive oil. Use this for items that will go in the oven or be cooked. You can use 25% less oil than you would butter. Use pureed fruits or veggies like applesauce, pumpkin, sweet potato, or bananas, and that will leave a fluffier, more cake-like texture. Substitute low-fat dairy like plain non-fat yogurt or Greek yogurt, buttermilk, or 1/3 cream cheese, or even use pureed cottage cheese as an ingredient. You can also add fiber to your baked goods by replacing all-purpose flour with whole wheat flour, or adding 1/4 to 1/2 cup of rolled oats instead of the same amount of flour. Consider adding 2 to 4 tablespoons of flax, or you can even use pureed beans in your recipe. Cut out trans fats and partially hydrogenated fats such as those that you'll find in margarine or shortenings. And if you use graham crackers or ginger snaps for your crust, you'll want to be sure to select the varieties that do not have any partially hydrogenated fats in the ingredient list. You want to add healthier ingredients too, like walnuts, shredded carrots, or even shredded zucchini. There's lots of recipes and lots of tips on the internet, so be sure to take a look and see how you can substitute healthier ingredients for your sweet treats. Just remember, even with a healthier version, you still need to use moderation. And don't forget to stay active during the holidays. You can do just that at a Clark County Parks and Recreation facility near you. There you'll find lots of fun and exciting fitness classes, well-equipped fitness rooms, and many other activities to keep you physically active during the holidays. Well, that's all for now. I'm Aurora Buffington, encouraging you to stay active and eat healthy during the holidays by visiting a Clark County Parks and Recreation Center near you, where fitness happens.
Hello, I'm Mark Hall Patton. I want to welcome you to the Clark County Museum. We're coming into the holiday season, and as you come out to the museum and go through the houses, you'll see that we actually decorate the houses to the different time periods of the houses. Now, this particular house is our railroad cottage. It was built between 1909 and 1911. So when you go inside here, you'll see that the kinds of decorations were much more minimal than what we might think of today. And you won't see any electric lights on the outside, anything like that, because those didn't exist at that point. So we don't show those on this house. If you come out to the museum during the holiday season, all the houses on Heritage Street will be decorated to the time period of the house. So each one will be decorated differently depending on what time period the house is representing. So let's take a walk inside and see what it looks like in 1910. So when you come inside the railroad cottage here, you'll see one, it's a fairly small house, but this was the first mass housing that was built in Las Vegas. This one was moved from downtown, from 3rd Street actually, and restored here and is on display. Now when you look at the decorations, you can see they do have a tree and a little bit of greenery here, and the man and woman of the house are in the back getting ready for a major meal, because of course that was one of the main things that you did for Christmas at the turn of the century in the 1910 period, was there wasn't a lot of presents, but you would have a very large feast. That was a big deal. And so we have the porter and his wife. The porter here worked for the railroad and his wife would have kept house. And you can see that they didn't have much, but this was very typical of the kinds of decoration that you would have seen at the time. Now, one thing I will tell you, a lot of people talk about the fact that on trees of this time period, you might have had candles, and that was used once in a while. The thing about candles is you didn't have them lit every night, not like you would electric lights today. You would, if you had candles, you would put them on, and on Christmas Eve, you would send everybody out of the room and you'd have a bucket of water and a bucket of sand right there. You'd light all the candles, everybody would come into the room, ooh and ah about the tree, and then you'd blow them all out. Because even at the time, everybody understood the problems with fire, so you would not have them going all the time. So that's something that we never show out here because fire's not our friend on site. But you'll be able to see this in all of the houses, different time periods. And I also want to welcome you, if you have the time, and invite you to come out on December 9th and 10th. That's Friday and Saturday, the second Friday and Saturday of December. We will be open from 5 to 7:30 p.m. those nights. We will be free those nights. You'll save that onerous $2 entry fee, and you'll be able to see not just all the houses, but the exterior lights. We have strolling carolers, we have Santa here, we have free hot chocolate. There's a lot to see and do, crafts for the kids. So please come out. That's December 9th and 10th. It is our Heritage Street holidays. And otherwise, at any point during the holidays, please come out and see the decorations and learn a little bit about the different kinds of celebrations that have been done over the years in Las Vegas, in Southern Nevada, in Clark County. This is Mark Hall Patton. Remember, we're only open 7 days a week. It is only $2 a head, and we're open from 9 to 4:30. So please come out and join us.
Hi, I'm Bruce Isaacson, Clark County Poet Laureate, and I've got a special guest with me here today. I've been hearing the poetry of Rodney Lee in the Las Vegas community here for about 20 years, and he's a remarkable talent. He's also an educator and taught extensively through the Clark County School District and is an executive with the district now. So, Rodney, how does poetry interact with your work as an educator?
Poetry kind of frames everything that I do, and particularly being as an educator, being concise to the message, finding my rhythm, looking for ways to connect with my audience. So that's exactly what I do in my work, and it's kind of what I try to do in my poetry.
Well, that's great. Will you read a poem for us?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Right. The poem I'm going to do is an older piece. It's called Boys Will Be Boys. And a lot of times in working with my students, I really try to get them to value other human beings as equally as they value themselves. So, boys will be boys. Mighty, young bullocks we were, each and every one, locking horns, flashing bronze, you know, a boy's brand of fun, hanging in the school's hallways, clowning for the crowd, strutting and jiving and talking loud, when Montina, fine, gorgeous Montina, rounded the corner, and her beauty stilled us all. Lord, she looked good back in '78. Afro like a flower, and her young body like a stream. Many nights she had danced through the orchid fields of my boyhood dreams, and we all looked, checked her out, devoured her with our very sight. And she walked like winds blow and angels sing. Sister, my sister had inherited the grace of ancestral queens. Now, I think it was Sainty who cat whistled. And Don Juan said, "Hey now." But it was me, big mouth, callow, cowardly, insecure me who shouted, "Ooh! Look at that plump rump! Ow!" My boys all laughed and slapped me 5, and I tried to shoot the jive. But inside, a part of me had died. You see, I actually liked her. I always had. Ever since the 3rd grade. Why didn't I just say hi? Hi, Montina. Why didn't I? But instead, I was cool. Played the fool, anything to be accepted by the crowd. I'll never forget the look on her face. Her eyes. 1,000 years old they seemed, filled with both pity and pain. 1,000 years, as ancient as women's suffering, because men cannot be men less by their disgrace. Boys will be boys, and women will suffer.
Wow, that's an incredible poem. I really like that poem. I've always liked that poem a lot. And, you know, I think we can identify with that. And with Montina, God, well, that's wonderful. Hey, Rodney Lee is out there in the community. You can hear him. I want to see you guys come on out to poetry. On November 26th, there's a poetry slam, which has now got a new home down on Fremont Street. Look it up on Facebook. And special event. December 2nd at CSN at 6 o'clock and December 3rd at 7 o'clock at the Clark County Flamingo Library. Sharon Olds, one of the most significant and influential poets of our time, is going to come to Las Vegas, read, hold a writer's workshop. Look us up on Facebook. I look forward to seeing you. Come on out to poetry.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Ma'am, driving a car in a diamond lane requires 2 or more people.
Oh, I'm sorry, but diamonds really are a girl's best friend.
Only motorcycles or vehicles with 2 or more people are permitted to travel in a diamond lane.
Now what about hybrids or trucks?
Hybrid vehicles are not exempt. They are allowed in a diamond lane, only if they have 2 or more people.
Oh, pooh. Now where's a girl gonna find another person to share a ride with?
Club Ride is the perfect solution to finding people to carpool with. Their website can match you up with commuters who travel a similar route. You'll reduce traffic on our roadways, save wear and tear when you share a ride, and most importantly, you'll avoid a traffic citation by having enough people to ride in those speedy HOV lanes.
It looks like someone visited the Club Ride website.
That's right. These diamonds really are a driver's best friend.
Don't let your pets go tomcatting around. Did you know that an unspayed cat, her mate, and all their kitties can produce 470,000 cats in 7 years? Prevent a litter. Fix your critter.
This is Clark County Television, CCTV 4.
It's the one place in Las Vegas where there's no business like the art of show business. The tale of the railroad is still being told, and every living and growing thing plays its own starring role. Here at the Springs Preserve, where all that matters is what's elemental.
The title of the current exhibit at the Nevada State Museum is as phenomenal as its subject, Les Folies Bergères, entertaining Las Vegas one rhinestone at a time. And the artistry, beauty, and historic importance of the Tropicana's long-running Parisian cabaret are represented by a wide selection of costumes, photographs, and personal accounts from this fondly remembered age of spectacular showmen and showgirlship.
The Folies Bergères landed here in 1959 on Christmas Eve. It came here directly from Paris. The show was built and designed in Paris and then shipped over here for use on our stage at the Tropicana Hotel and Casino. And the show lasted for almost 50 years, finally closing in 2009.
The secret to its longevity may have been its endless inventiveness.
The show would change out its sets and costumes every few years, so you could see a brand new version or edition of the Folies Bergères show in Las Vegas every other year.
At its height, it was a one-of-a-kind show in this country.
Short of going to Paris to see a show like this, a cabaret show, Las Vegas was it. Vegas was the closest you could get to Paris, especially because the shows actually were designed in the early years by French people. The same designers that were building and designing for the Paris stage were designing and building for our stage here.
The revolutionary French design aesthetic is undeniably present in the extensive and iconic costumes that are on display from the museum's collection.
Because we have in this collection at the Nevada State Museum a 50-year span of costumes, you really can see an evolution of stage costume from the 60s through the early 2000s. So each era has its own sort of unique statement and unique style.
But the costumes are best brought to life by the memories of the performers who wore them.
Because the show just closed in 2009, there's still a lot of men and women that are working and living here in Vegas that can come and tell me their stories. This exhibit includes audio, visual, oral histories from these people. It's fun to have a narrative behind the costume and know who wore them and when and what were some of the fun things or negative things or interesting things that happened to these people while they were wearing the costumes. That really does add a lot of life to the actual physical garment.
Their stories also add a lot to our knowledge of the backstage drama involved in appearing graceful while parading around in these wearable but weighty works of art.
There's a big headdress. It's a headdress attached to a wig. And there's this sort of abstract bird shape sticking straight up from the top. It's a wire frame totally covered in rhinestones, which are glass and heavy. And it probably weighs 30 plus pounds. And she remembers, she tells this great story about trying to figure out how to carry the headdress so she didn't look like there was any weight to it, because that's the trick of being a showgirl, right, is making these 30-pound headdresses look effortless and being able to still float across the stage. So she tells a great story about how she totally did not succeed in the task, and she was fired for a second until someone then said, no, you're not really fired, but you got to figure out how to carry that headdress. So there's nothing easy about being a showgirl.
The men had an easier time playing their own roles as elegantly tailored but understated set pieces.
The men were very elegant, and they were just there to sort of point at the women and to remind everyone that's who they should be looking at. There are a few examples over the years where the men got to wear character costumes, and those are costumes that are of a particular period or theme, but mostly it was tails and tuxedos with a few rhinestones on the lapels or on a waistcoat vest.
The spirit of this time and place is also portrayed in exceptional detail through the period photographs that complete the exhibit.
The other really fantastic thing about this exhibit, not only are there costumes on display, but there are photographs, archival photographs from the Las Vegas News Bureau's archive. And most of these photographs have never been seen before. And they're photographs from the very first day of the show to the very last day of the show.
They're fitting tributes to so many showbiz visionaries who became citizens of Las Vegas and contributed so much to the city's culture.
I think of them as our sort of settlers, our early settlers. A lot of these men and women actually moved to Las Vegas to work in these shows. And they stayed here and they raised families, and so they're an important part of our history.
Come experience the advanced technologies of tomorrow today in our new traveling exhibit, Science Fiction, Science Future, on display in the Origin Museum through January 8th. For more information, visit springspreserve.org. The butterfly's image of fluttery delicacy is actually quite contrary to the species' sheer variety of distinctive types that can endure the most trying transformations and travels across extreme terrains, including surviving in their Mojave home and thriving in the habitat we've created for some truly exotic specimens here at the Springs Preserve.
We've got several species that live here in southern Nevada, so we'll commonly see monarchs that fly through on their migration path. We've got queens that we have that live here. We've got cabbage whites, we've got some swallowtails that live here.
More than their striking beauty, people admire and study the wondrous natural process of metamorphosis that so completely changes them throughout their lifetime.
So they start out as an egg, that hatches, they become a caterpillar until they finally reach a stage where they go into what we call a pupa or a chrysalis. That's their pupal stage. That inside that chrysalis is when the caterpillar metamorphoses into a butterfly.
It's no wonder then that they're so very hungry in every form they take and endlessly inventive in their feeding habits.
So once they eclosion or a butterfly, they subsist on nectar. So they have a very long tongue, basically, that uncurls, their little proboscis, and it uncurls and it will go right down into the flower and they'll drink the nectar right from within the flower. And the really kind of fun thing about that is that they don't taste with that, they actually taste with their feet. So all of their taste sensors are on their feet, and that's where they'll kind of land on a flower, check it out, see if it maybe is a tasty flower, and then they'll start to drink the nectar.
In this eat or be eaten world, they've also developed some clever devices to confuse potential predators.
So we have a few that mimic one another. The queen caterpillars mimic the monarch caterpillars. The reason for that is that monarchs are poisonous, so it pays off to look like them. They get eaten less often. But other caterpillars look different from one another too, and you can actually identify the species of butterfly based on the caterpillar.
And you'll get plenty of practice identifying all kinds of different caterpillars and butterflies at almost every time of the year throughout the preserve.
There are lots of plants that the butterflies like here. One of the ones that is just immensely popular with butterflies and hummingbirds are lantana. Lantana is crazy popular. I've also seen some other flowering plants like sages that are very popular, and I think that the bluebells are popular as well. Those are all plants that you can get at some of the local nurseries even, or even at our plant sale.
And once you draw butterflies into your yard with these popular plants, you can expect to see them fluttering about for a significant part of the year.
We see them starting in the spring all the way through fall. So really the only time we don't have butterflies active here is through the winter time when it gets colder at night. But some of our hardier species, and especially those monarchs that do that great migration, they'll fly through here regularly throughout the year.
And many glamorous butterflies that aren't natives or frequent visitors are well represented and easy to see in our seasonal habitat.
We would love to have you come visit us in the butterfly habitat. We've got things like blue morphos, which are those gigantic silvery blue butterflies that come from Central America. We usually have swallowtails and various kinds of monarchs, some peacock butterflies. We end up with lots of little buckeyes, which are the little brown and orange guys that flitter all over the place. Lots of fancy and really beautiful colored butterflies for you guys to come and see.
Our hugely popular butterfly habitat will be open for most of the fall until the cooler weather comes. But you can follow all our flight plans up until the end of the season by visiting our website at springspreserve.org or follow us on social media to be the first to know. Las Vegas has hardly ever been considered middle of the road, except when it came to the fortunate geography that placed the town midway between Salt Lake City and Los Angeles. And it was even luckier to be located in a valley that overflowed with a wealth of spring water, because these features combined to set so many people and wheels of progress in motion. And visitors to the Origin Museum's Railroad History exhibit can relive the actual land auction that made this improbable story possible.
Well, Las Vegas was sort of the main division point, the halfway point between Salt Lake City and Los Angeles. And so because of its location and because of the abundance of water that came out of the Las Vegas Springs, out of the big springs, it was an important source of water for locomotives, for trains.
So it's no surprise that a mining magnate would recognize how valuable these resources could be for his own grand railroad scheme.
William Andrews Clark, who was a late 19th century copper baron, robber baron, wanted to set up his own railroad to take his ores that he was bringing out of Montana from his copper mines. And so he developed the railroad between Salt Lake City and Los Angeles and the port of San Pedro in Los Angeles as a means to get that ore to the coast.
But there were many powerful men who had their eyes on the prize of this particular right-of-way that ran straight through Las Vegas.
There was some competition at the time because the Union Pacific was being built at the same time, and E.H. Harriman, who was the head of the Union Pacific at the time, didn't want a competing railroad. And William Andrews Clark had enough money, he could buy up whatever he wanted for the most part.
Even owning half of a railroad would make both rich men that much richer.
In the end, the Union Pacific and Clark came to an agreement where E.H. Harriman, who ran the Union Pacific, owned a 50% stock in the San Pedro, Los Angeles, and Salt Lake Railroad. And the SPLA and SL could use the Union Pacific tracks to move their trains from Salt Lake City down to Los Angeles.
But there was still an element of risk and some major investments to be made in creating a company town almost from the ground up.
Las Vegas was small, it was dusty, it was hot, there were no amenities, there was no real infrastructure, so it wasn't necessarily a place where you were going to bring your family and set up shop, immediately.
The railroad men knew that people would follow the work and water.
And if you were going to build shops, if you're going to build machine shops to help repair trains, you need a workforce. And at the time, in the early 1900s, 1902, there were probably no more than 20 or 30 people that lived in Las Vegas. And so they needed to develop Las Vegas as a town to help support these machine shops. So in about 1902, Clark and his backers purchased 1,800 acres from Helen Stewart. That included the Las Vegas Springs and Helen Stewart's ranch, and also purchased the water rights for the water coming out of the springs.
Then, in the first of the great Las Vegas promotional campaigns, they described a desert that was just waiting to bloom and a supply of water that was endless in the imagination.
When we go back and look at historic newspapers, we can see advertisements both in the Salt Lake newspapers and the Los Angeles newspapers highlighting how wonderful the climate was in Las Vegas, how there was flowing water, how there was vegetation, how it was a perfect community to come out for farming, but also touting the development of the shops and the development of the railroad and access to Salt Lake City and Los Angeles from Las Vegas.
The robber barons made out like bandits by betting on the competitive advantages of buyers trying to outbid each other in an auction sale.
So over 3,000 people came out on that May Day here in Las Vegas to bid on town sites, to bid on plots. And for the most part, people felt like they were getting a square deal. A plot of land you could get for $150, $170, corner lots upwards $300, $500, but the prices went up pretty quickly. And at the end of the two-day auction, they made over $270,000. And once again, if we translate that in today's money, that's over $6 million they made just from land auctions from the Clark Las Vegas town site.
Even today, guests can get caught up in all the expectations and excitement of the auction atmosphere.
When visitors walk amongst the statues, they trigger an audio
file or an audio discussion basically that happens overhead amongst many of the folks that you see represented behind me, talking about the auction itself, whether or not they want to live in Las Vegas, maybe it does or doesn't have the services that they're used to, maybe they consider it a good deal or a bad deal based on the size of the parcel.
Over a century later, both the optimism and practical considerations of betting on Las Vegas still reinforce the challenges of living in a company town.
Las Vegas in many ways has been a boomtown. If you look at the ebb and flow of the economy nationally, Las Vegas fits very, very well into that.
But Las Vegas can consider itself fortunate in conserving one of the essential resources that has always kept the city going in forward motion toward its future.
One of the reasons that Las Vegas has done well is it has a natural resource that a lot of these smaller communities lack, and that would be water. And in fact, it was water that lured the animals and the plants here, and then the Native Americans and the early pioneers, but more importantly, it was water that lured the railroad here.
At the Big Springs Gallery through January 8th, the Preserve is welcoming the members of the American Society of Railway Artists in their annual juried show of paintings portraying the nostalgia of the Iron Horse and its modern importance to North America. For more information, visit our website at springspreserve.org. A well-chosen souvenir should provide pleasant reminders of a special trip, and the selection of natural, recycled, and unique holiday presents at the Springs Preserve gift shop will make the memories of your trip last and share them with your friends and loved ones.
The Springs Preserve gift shop is a great place to pick up a memento of your visit. So much of what you'll find here in the gift shop relates back to our mission here at the Springs Preserve. You'll find books that will teach you how to live in harmony with the desert. You'll find beautiful jewelry, most of it one-of-a-kind pieces that's actually made from items that come out of the desert. We are featuring a new artist, local artist, who is actually utilizing turquoise that was mined here locally. We're trying to highlight these types of artists, and we're planning events in the future that will give you an opportunity to come and meet the artist and talk to them about why the desert is important to them and what is important to them about utilizing materials that come from where we live. It's also a great place to drop in if you're planning to walk down to the gardens or go out onto the trails. You can pick up a hat or a bottle of water, any kind of sundries that you might need for your visit at the preserve. It's also a really fun place to come and check out the items that we have that relate to our seasonal events. As we move into fall and Haunted Harvest is coming up and Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead, we will have some fantastic items in the gift shop that people can come in and get to take with them into the celebration that will help them to celebrate. And they can also get some items that they can take home and decorate their own homes for the holidays. The Springs Preserve gift shop is more than just a place to buy things. It is a place where you can have an interactive experience. We have our mining camp experience where kids can come in and they purchase a bag of minerals, and then they get to go through the process of actually hand mining those minerals. And we also have a really fun lightsaber building activity where kids can come in, they get to choose what kind of handle they want, and they get to decorate their own lightsaber. And buying something at the Springs Preserve is a great benefit of membership. Every member gets 10% off their total purchase, so you'll find amazing, beautiful, one-of-a-kind things here, and you'll also get a special discount because you are a part of the Springs Preserve family as a member.
It's been said that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and the true proof of this wise saying is the inspiration for our new fall show, Copycats and Other Critters, which demonstrates how proud inventors are mimicking the highly intelligent designs of the animal world to create the innovations of tomorrow.
We've really tried to adjust the fall shows to complement and to kind of go along with the exhibits.
The exhibit during the fall is Science Fiction, Science Future, and it's all about how the inspiration for technology kind of affects the directions it's going. We realize that a lot of the inspiration for technology and technological advancements come from the natural world. You know, like you can talk about Velcro sneakers were developed because the guy that discovered it was curious about birds sticking in his dog's fur after they went for hikes. And it's going to be a show that kind of shows and highlights how some of these inventions and interventions and things coming in the future are inspired by the nature all around us.
The show features a fascinating cast of Mojave animals from our living collection, including spiders that provide a model for futuristic technology, which will give mobility to people who find movement a challenge.
The same natural systems that help tarantulas move around are going to eventually be developed to help people who haven't been able to walk for the first time. And hydraulic exoskeletons that'll affect us, we'll use every day in the coming years.
And the scientists who so seriously studied the very slither of the snake have successfully copied it as an ingenious rescue mechanism.
One of the things we were really fascinated by was the ability for Mojave Desert animals to act in ways that humans can't. So, for example, looking at a snake being able to slither through a rock pile,